Hello, so the next set of questions to be answered, I've grouped these together into the eConsult or online triage set of questions. So first of all, how does our triage system work with eConsults or online triage? Obviously, there's no getting away from it, whether you are a complete Luddite and want to stay away from technology or someone that really embraces it. eConsults are here to stay, or electronic online consultations. Within our system, they are just another route into the clinical person who is there assessing all of the inputs, whether they're coming via phone or online, and it is just another way that the patients get put in front of that clinical set of eyes to decide where they go. We do separate things out in that, as I mentioned in one of the other questions and answer videos, our reception team are experts at dealing with a lot of the non-clinical administration work, and they will forward that to the most appropriate person. So they will strip out any of the non-clinical ones first, and then anything that's got a clinical bent will go in front of the same set of eyes as if the patient has walked in and filled out a form at the front desk, or if they've called the patient services team and got through that way. So all of them are triaged in the same way, the same criteria. Do they need to be seen same day? Do they need to be seen in a more routine fashion? Do they need any continuity of care? Or is it something really quick that the duty team can deal with there and then? So those are the ways we go through those. There are other questions around how our system differs, for example, from the eConsult, Ask My GP or clinic systems. And do I see the next iteration of this model incorporating online platforms or using online platforms for triaging instead? Well, maybe. We are definitely not there yet, and no matter how good these triaging products may be, they are never going to know with granular detail exactly who in your team is going to be able to deal with what problems. I think we all know that there are people within our teams who are perhaps weaker in some areas and stronger in others, and we know who to put the people with if we had an ideal world. And having that clinician at the front desk is a really good way of making that happen. I can't see that happening in the online way into the front door. I also think that we lose to a degree the information, the non-verbal information that is picked up by the person answering the phone. Now, that's not to say that we want everything to be going via phone, and I know some practices have been very successful in using, for example, the Accurix triage system to get all of the inputs coming in through that way, or even getting that as a way of getting the information collected by the reception team. So they will use these questions within the system, and that's a completely reasonable way of doing it. I still think that the key to the system working well is having that clinical input going through the information that's received and getting them to the most appropriate place first time. Any other questions in this area? Let's see. How does it work with online access for appointment bookings? Do these bypass the triage? This is another big one, because obviously there is a big push for patients to be able to book their own appointments. Now, I know of some places that have gone all out on setting their appointment systems up and being able to use systems like the AccuRx patient booking links. We use those for some appointment types, but we tend to use them where there is less acuity for things that could be booked further ahead, and often for things like booking blood tests or other sort of non-specialist clinical appointments. One of the other things that I'm aware of is that when I am running my day in the triage team, I am wanting to book any of my appointments early as I can, so that I've still got that capacity left in the afternoon for any things that may come through later on in the day. We try to get as much done on the day as possible, but we obviously will book things forwards for those things that are really going to benefit from continuity of care. Or of course, if you're really tight on one day and you realise that you're going to have more capacity later in the week or the next week, and the problem will wait safely for that, then obviously we would book forward into those things. And these are some of the issues that I cover in the course, where we're talking about ways in which you can really maximise the issue. As I mentioned, the course which I've set up to help practices implement this triage system with a clinician leading it is linked in the show notes. So if you wanted to find out more, please do read down there and you'll find out more about how you could possibly learn more about this for your practice. I think that's most of the questions around this eConsult online triage system. I'll be answering more of your questions and as much as I can from that webinar in the next set of videos. I hope this is helpful. Take care.